We are live for Creekside and Atlantic Coast, live from Creekside High School. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the castle as we get set for action between the Knights and the Stingrays. I'm Noah Schlicksup, bringing you tonight's action live on Schlick Sports. Each of these teams off to very different starts this season. Atlantic Coast is 0-5. Their season high for scoring, 50 points versus Tecoy Creek. Creekside, they're having their best start in 6 years, 4-0, coming off of a big win over Bishop Kenny. Creekside, they've struggled early in ball games, though. They've averaged 13.5 in the first quarter compared to 15.5 in the second and 18 in the third and fourth. Each of these teams have different areas where they can really take advantage in this game. Creekside, they need to get off to a fast start. This is the first key to the game I have for you. Second of all, in keys to the game, transition points are going to be huge. These are each teams that like to play fast and play in transition. We'll see how these two keys to the game come to factor tonight. But first, we're going to send you down to the court for the starting lineups and our national anthem. Hello and welcome to the castle at Creekside High School as we get set for high school basketball action between the visiting Atlantic Coast Stingrays and your Creekside Knights. Now we ask that you please rise if you can and remove your hat for the playing of our national anthem. Thank you. And now for the starting lineups for tonight's game. First up, with the visiting team coming in with a record of 0-5, the Atlantic Coast Stingrays. A junior, number 2 at guard, and 4. A senior, number 4, AJ Thomas. A senior, number 10, Malik Aker. A senior, number 12, Glenn Lawrence. And a sophomore, number 30, Jay Harris. Atlantic Coast is coached by head coach Charlton Blood in her first season with the Stingrays.
number 1, Ethan Zucker. Freshman center standing at 6'8", number 32, Nolan Nelson. And at 6'7", a forward senior, number 21, Alex Tyler. And the head coach for your Creekside Knights in his second season, Coach Chris Patterson. All right, Creekside, let me hear you. It's time for some Creekside basketball.
It is time for basketball at the Castle between Creekside and Atlantic Coast. Hello, everybody. I'm Noah Schlicksup, bringing tonight's action live from the Castle as we are just about ready for action between the 0-5 Stingrays and the 4-0 Knights as the ball is tipped and we are underway. Creekside takes it on the tip. Patterson gets it down to Nolan Nelson. Nelson back out to Cade Patterson. Fires a three. No good off the iron. These teams, as I mentioned in pregame, very two different starts to the season. Creekside off to their best start in 6 years. Meanwhile, Atlantic Coast 0-5, looking for their first win under new head coach Charles C. Clark. Clark is believed to be the first woman head coach of a boys basketball varsity team for an FHSAA school in Jacksonville. She takes over Stingrays program that's been in a tough place for a while, haven't had a winning season since 2019. Their fourth coach in 4 years, 5-18 last season. They played well defensively this year, but only one 50-point game. And that man right there, Ben Ward, he's been their leading scorer, coming in with 9.0 points per game. He starts off the Stingrays with a three from the corner. As the junior guard is taking command of this Stingrays squad as Alex Collier down in the post on the other end with the hook shot, gets it to go. 3-2 to open things up. Atlantic Coast going against the Knights' zone defense. Something that's been very effective against their opponents, especially early on in games. Creekside offensively has gotten off to some tough starts when it comes to scoring the ball, but it's their defense that has kept them in these ball games early on and allowed them to really come along as the game goes on. This is a Creekside team that gets better as it goes on, which speaks to their conditioning. There's a jump shot taken from the baseline. Good. That was Jay Darius, the sophomore, making it 5-2 Atlantic Coast. Ethan Tucker goes on the drive, kicks it back out to Rivers, who now floats it from the right block, no good. BJ Thomas finds Ward on the other end. Ben Ward in the left corner, back up towards center court. From the free throw line, jumper no good from Malik Aker. A foul on the rebound will go against Creekside. Cade Patterson on the foul. These Stingrays have struggled offensively this year. Come in shooting the ball the 35% mark. They got to find consistency on offense. Create an identity as a team as Nolan Nelson blocks a shot. Creekside on the fast break. Ethan Tucker, the senior, goes on the drive and over the 6'6" Malik Aker. The 5'10" Tucker makes it 5-4. BJ Thomas passing it off. Glenn Lawrence Denied on the shot. Nelson going the other way, lost control of the dribble. Here's an opportunity for AC. Good defense there from Derek Rivers. Shot contest went up, straight up vertically. Allowed for the miss, and on the other end, Rivers with his first bucket of the night. And Creekside with their first lead of the night at 6-5. Rivers makes the nice defensive play and cashes in on the other end. In the corner, a three, no good. Creekside, a very good rebounding team. They pride themselves on not allowing second chance opportunities. Average close to 35 rebounds per game on both sides of the ball. As Patterson finds Nelson. Nelson in the post, no good on the first shot. Put back good for the 6'8" freshman Nolan Nelson. Under 3.5 minutes to go here in the first quarter as Ben Ward sinks his second three already of the night. 2 for 2 from beyond the arc. Even at 8, Creekside looking for a response. Patterson fires from deep, he got it! Cade Patterson with a big-time three to put Creekside up 11-8. We got a good one here in the first quarter. Knights lead by 3 when we return on Schlick Sports. Welcome back to the Castle Creekside High School. Atlantic Coast with the ball. 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter. 11-8. Our score is the Knights. The three-point advantage. Atlantic Coast finding ways. Points on the board early on. 2 big threes from Ben Ward. Got them very much in this ball game early on. It's a good block from Nelson down on the board. Nets Creekside a fast break. Collier looking to finish it off. No good. Good defense from behind Glenn Lawrence. And he draws a charge on the other end. Creekside now in the full court press. As Atlantic Coast finding answers to that zone defense. They're a team that prides themselves on being able to adapt to their team, their strengths. You mentioned Charles C. Clark early on. First season with Atlantic Coast. According to head coach Chris Patterson, a team that plays very hard. Tough team to face. Of course, coached really well as Clark, previously the head coach for the Bishop Kenny girls basketball team. Led them to the state Final Four 3 straight years and the state championship twice as Ben Ward fires another three again! With an and one chance, Ben Ward! And fuego early on. Clark also an assistant coach for the UNF women's basketball squad. Fired up after that three. Free throw, however, no good. Creekside brings it the other way. Derek Rivers in the right corner, back up to the right arc where Ethan Tucker finds Cade Patterson on the baseline, back outside Tucker for three, top of the key, good! But the shot won't count. I believe they're gonna be calling a foul. Down under the basket on Andrew Jenkins. And after discussion with the officials. Andrew Jenkins Jr. called for a foul, but the three-pointer does count for Ethan Tucker. Minute 35 to go in the first quarter. Creekside, a team that first quarters this year averaging 13.5 per game. They got 14 early on in this one as Derek Rivers gets Patterson in the quarter. Patterson trying to go up the baseline. Fouled by Glenn Lawrence. And then a baseline inbound for Creekside. Tucker, who had that last three for Creekside, got 5 early points for the Knights, coming off of a 5-point game against Bishop Kenny. Uncharacteristic for him early on this season, as there's a inbound that is interesting. Not sure if there's a miscommunication, but it works out well in the end as Creekside brings it up the court. Garen Baylock, Cade Patterson. Patterson over to Baylock, the sophomore guard. Back to Patterson, fires a three. No good this time. Back the other way goes AC. Shot blocked by Nolan Nelson. Already his 3rd rejection of the night. It's quickly turned over to the Knights on a wild pass. Nelson back outside, wide open. Cade Patterson, bingo! From downtown, Cade Patterson. 17-11 Creekside. Knights getting threes to fall early on the other end, going on the drive, finishing it off, BJ Thomas. Back to a 4-point game. 10 seconds to go in the first quarter. Creekside with the ball. Patterson again from the corner. Too much on it. Rivers grabs the rebound. Back outside. 2 seconds. Floater from the free throw line. No good. And that will bring us into the second quarter. Our score, Creekside 17, Atlantic Coast 13. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Creekside Basketball live on Schlick Sports. Start of the second quarter, where it is 17-13. Creekside leads Atlantic Coast. Stingrays get the ball coming out of the break. Knights with 17 first quarter points. Something they like to see early on, finding ways to score the ball with consistency. Ben Ward, that's the guy who's been consistent tonight. 3 of 3 from beyond the arc. He's got 9 of Atlantic Coast, 13 points. Nice steal by Ethan Tucker. He goes up, he lays it in. Ethan Tucker, 7 early points for the senior. 19-13 Creekside. Troy Johnson hands it off. Aker at the point, trying to drive in. Bounce pass, a little wild. Recovered, however, Baseline drive, and a charge is called. Collier draws the charge from Johnson. Knights ball. Substitution for Atlantic Coast and Creekside. Brennan Lee into the game for the Knights. Sean Robinson on for Atlantic Coast. Glenn Lawrence back into the game. Tucker against some aggressive defense, keeps the ball. It's Derek Rivers, right arc, good bounce pass down to Nolan Tuck. Back outside, Rivers for three. Rattles out around the rim and in. Derek Rivers with the three for Creekside. It's 22-13. Ball out of bounds, and some sloppy play on offense these past couple possessions by the Stingrays. It's Tucker. Passes to Rivers. Rivers takes the screen, dribbling to his left at the point. Down to Collier. Collier blocked by Lawrence. Nice defensive play there. 6 minutes to go in this first half. E.J. Thomas, the center circle, right by half court. Bounce pass. Down inside the arc, going on the drive. Shot good off the glass from Aker. 22-15. Creekside fast to get back down the court. Rivers back outside. Collier for three. No good. Nelson grabs the rebound, going back up with it on the reverse. Shot no good. Rebounded by Aker. The Stingrays back with the ball. Thomas dishes it down. Tipped off the backboard as Nelson gets it forward. Ethan Tucker. Tucker feeds it down to Collier. Collier working on Lawrence. Can't get his shot to go. Whistles. Jump ball. Possession stays with Creekside. Cade Patterson back in for the Knights. Tucker down in the lane, fouled on the shot. He'll shoot two. Tucker no good on the first shot. 81% at the free throw line to start the season. Second shot good. Tucker's got 8. E.J. Thomas swinging it around the outside, Atlantic Coast. Ben Ward dribbles it back up. At the top, it's Thomas driving down to the right, black up over Collier. No good, grabs his own rebound. Back outside, pull up, 3. No good, off the front of the rim. Collier pulls down the rebound. Ethan Tucker loses control of the dribble, and a charge is gonna be called on him as he tried to go up for it. Glenn Lawrence able to draw the foul. Good lane to the hoop, but it quickly closes as Alex Collier denies the shot from Jay Darius. 4:06 to go in this first half. Ward gets it in. Trying to go on the baseline. Travel is going to be called on B.J. Thomas. Creekside has had a lot of success in their history against Atlantic Coast. 9 wins to just 1 loss. Atlantic Coast hasn't beat Creekside in over a decade. That was a 51-37 win back on November 22nd of 2013 as Nolan Nelson, teardrop good. Knights with a double-digit lead over the Stingrays. Aker on the drive. Aker finishes it off. Nice touch off the glass by Malik Aker. As Brennan Lee fires a 3. Brennan Lee nails the 3. 28-17. Knights respond. Now an 11-point lead for Creekside. Ben Ward on the other end. Called for a travel. Creekside gets the ball back. Substitution as Jay Darius exits the court. Patterson up by half court. Passes to Rivers. Rivers fires from downtown. Money. Derek Rivers with his second 3 of the night. 31-17. Ben Ward dribbling in with his left. Down under the hoop, passes back to the right corner. Thomas over to Aker. Foul line, Aker. Back out on the perimeter. B.J. Thomas. Thomas hands it off. Layup. Good. No name for number 20, but that's who got it for the Stingrays. It's Cade Patterson with the handles. Goes behind the back, drives into the lane. Gets the layup to go. 33-19, Aker on the other end. Gets it to go from downtown. Stingrays offense finding some life again. It's Collier. Fade away, no good off the rim. Fast break. Back outside, Ben Ward trying to drive in. Ward's pass tipped, stolen by Rivers. Derek Rivers passes to the other side of the court where Brennan Lee finds Rivers, driving into the lane. Rivers kicks to Collier. Collier fouled on the shot. Right to the right side of the rim. 2 shots coming for the senior. Exactly 1 minute to go in the second quarter. It's 33-21 Creekside. Collier shooting 33%. Free throws this year, can't get that first one to go. Second shot, too much on it from Collier. Creekside gets the rebound. It's Baylock on the right block. Back outside to Nelson, off the hand of Nelson, but Baylock there to recover for him. Driving in from the point. Baylock on the drive. Baylock rejected by Glenn Lawrence, making a lot of defensive plays down in the paint. Glenn Lawrence has been big on that side of the ball 48.5 seconds to go. Collier to Baylock, wide open for three. No good. Lee grabs the rebound, bounce pass Collier, pump fake, foul. Shot good. Foul on the ground, however. 38.3 to go in the second quarter. Nolan Nelson, Alex Collier, high post on the left side, rattles in. Collier's got 4. For 3. How about that? Jay Darius. Nine seconds on the clock. Rivers pass tip. Rivers recovers. Back outside. Baylock for 3 from the corner. No good. Clock not out yet. 1 second to go. Atlantic Coast gets the rebound. And it'll be 35-24 Creekside with an 11-point lead headed into the halftime break. You are listening to Creekside Knights Basketball live on Schlick Sports. We are 3.5 minutes away from the start of the second half here on Schlick Sports. Atlantic Coast got to find a way to get some defensive stops as Creekside had their way in that first half, and this is a team that typically gets better as the game goes on offensively. We'll see if the Stingrays can find an answer to the Knights' offense. Meanwhile, the Stingrays, they've done a nice job this game sticking with the Knights, keeping themselves in it, but really the big thing is just finding ways to create those defensive stops and get more consistent baskets as they've kind of come in bunches so far for Atlantic Coast. The leading scorers in this first half for the Stingrays: Ben Ward with 9 points, Malik Aker with 7, Jay Darius with 5 for Creekside, Ethan Tucker and Derek Rivers each with 8, along with Cade Patterson, Alex Collier and Nolan Nelson each netting 4 for Creekside as well. We got 2 minutes and 40 seconds until the start of the second half. We will be back for that when we return on Schlick Sports. Start of the second half here on Schlick Sports. We got a 35-24 game between Creekside and Atlantic Coast. And it looks like the Stingrays will start with the ball in the second half of action. They trail by 11. We'll see what they got coming out of that halftime break. Got to find ways to get more consistent buckets. We talked about at halftime, and there you go. B.J. Thomas from downtown. Some fireworks to start some things off here in the third quarter. Nolan Nelson responds with an easy bucket on the other side for Creekside. Thomas on the drive. Finger roll, B.J. Thomas. Only 2 points for the senior in that first half. 5 quickly out the gate in the third quarter. Trying to take things into his own hands as Nolan Nelson pulls up from just inside the three-point marker at the top of the key. No good on the other end. Ben Ward in the right corner trying to drive in. His pass stolen away by Cade Patterson. Patterson going the other way. Patterson feeds to Nelson. Nelson on the baseline. Tough defense. Poke free out of bounds. Last touch by the Stingrays. So after a fast sequence of play there, Derek Rivers with an easy bucket on the inbound. No one else for Creekside did anything. They just stood there at a corner of the lane. Rivers ran around and got free, banked it in. Knights back with the ball. Ethan Tucker down to Alex Collier. Pass stolen away by Glenn Lawrence. E.J. Thomas. On the right wing. Trying to drive in on Tucker to no avail. And a traveling violation called on Malik Aker. Back into the game, Jermaine Dorsey. Dorsley finally got a name there at halftime. Courtesy of Ayana Green, thank you very much. As we have ourselves a 10-point ball game. The third quarter, 2 minutes in. Dorsley got that bucket towards the end of the second quarter. A JV call up. It's the Stingrays with the ball. Thomas to Aker. Driving into the left block. Thomas's pass stolen away by Patterson. Thomas trying to steal it back, tips it out on the baseline for Creekside inbound. Good dish from Rivers. Leads to the bucket from Alex Collier down in the paint. 41-29. Knights up by 12. Darius back outside. Dorsley in the lane, stolen away by Collier. Collier gets it stolen back by Aker. Malik Aker met by Collier. Collier takes it back from Aker. Cade Patterson on the other end lays it up. No good on the layup. Whistle is Aker coming off. Contact, and looks like might be bleeding from his nose. So an inbound for Atlantic Coast. They did count the bucket from Nelson, it looked like, on the putback. Center circle right in front of the half-court line. It's Thomas on the drive. Thomas blocked by Collier. Alex Collier had 4 blocks in that game against Bishop Kenny. Already a few for him tonight. Denying easy points around the rim as a timeout called by Atlantic Coast as they trail Creekside 43-29. You are listening to Creekside Basketball live on Schlick Sports. So an extended break there as they had to clean up a little bit of blood off the court. Down in the lane. Good now is Atlantic Coast on the inbound. Going up with it, Glenn Lawrence. Couple hops and the ball decided to fall in. Bucket for the Stingrays coming out of their second timeout. On the other end, Tucker's pass down to Collier. Got there in a foul from Sean Robinson. 4:01 on the clock here in the third quarter. Brennan Lee, Darren Baylock back into the game for Creekside, and Tucker Patterson come out. Baylock trying to float it into Nelson. Stolen away, Wes Brooks rejected by Nolan Nelson. Still an AC inbound. Ward, left arc. Thomas to the center circle. A 3-second violation is called on Atlantic Coast, and Coach Clark not a fan of the call. (43-31's our score. 3 minutes and 38 seconds to go. The third quarter as Creekside turns it over. Jenkins pass led Darren Baylock a little too much out on the baseline. Just a 12-point Creekside lead. Atlantic Coast hanging around. Thomas back outside. Dorsley. Wes Brooks. They're on the drive. Thomas unable to get it to go. Rebound goes to Lawrence, but his head was out of bounds as he fell down to the floor. Not too much scoring here in this third quarter as the defenses have stepped up coming out of that halftime break. As the floater no good from Derek Rivers. Back outside, Baylock wide open for three. High arcing ball, left of the rim. Collier can't keep it in bounds. On the drive, Thomas. Pass tipped, he recovers. BJ hands it off. As Thomas goes on the drive, right block, good pass. Lawrence is there, Lawrence. His shot rolls out. That was a good dish there from Thomas to Lawrence. Didn't look like bad touch on the ball either, just got a bad roll on the rim. As Ethan Tucker drives in from the key. Fouled on the drive. Baseline inbound coming for Creekside. Tucker's there on the inbound. Tucker banks it in. 45-31. Ward from the corner. Ward short on the shot. Baylock gets the rebound. Garen Baylock going the other way. 3 behind him, cuts it back. Finds Lee back to Baylock, settling it down top of the key. Tucker, left arc, drive it in. Pass to Nelson. Nelson rolls out on the shot. Did a full trip around the rim. .120 to go in the third quarter. Ward, bounce pass, back to Ward. Darius to Thomas. Thomas in that right corner. Finds Wood. Fouled down in the paint. Patterson, Rivers in for Lee and Baylock. Bit of a slow pace to this third quarter. There's the inbound. Darius. High pass, Lawrence recovers. Lawrence goes up with it, and he's fouled. Will shoot 2. Glenn Lawrence shooting 50% from the line this year. Their shot good. Only 8 points for Atlantic Coast in this third quarter. Make it 9 as Lawrence hits both. Ethan Tucker with a lob. Nelson! Holy smokes! An alley-oop. The dish from Tucker found Nelson, who threw it down. Wow! Don't see that too often in a high school basketball game. On the other end, Ward banks it in. .20 seconds to go in the third quarter as Nelson lays it in on the dish from Collier. 8 seconds on the clock. Thomas on the drive, 5 seconds. Thomas, right block, fires a shot up off the glass and in. Collier gets it back in. Tucker fires a shot that is shy of the rim. Our score, 49-37 as we enter the fourth quarter of action. You are listening to Creekside Basketball live on Schlick Sports. Start of the fourth quarter here. Creekside up by 12. How about that capper to the third quarter? Nolan Nelson alley-oop. Right after that, laid it in the paint. Atlantic Coast responded to both. A 12-point game. As Ethan Tucker goes on the drive floater. No good. Nelson trying to get the rebound off his hands and out of bounds. Wes Brooks. How about that name for basketball? First name Wes, last name Brooks. Just got to add a T at the end of that first name and take away the S. There you go. Three-pointer from the left corner, good. Jay Darius. Back down to a single-digit lead for Creekside, three-possession game. They've let the Stingrays hang around. Can they come back? Rivers for three, that's no good. Nelson grabs the rebound, back outside. Tucker from the perimeter, no good. Was looking for a foul, didn't get it. Jump ball in the lane. And it's Stingray ball. BJ Thomas came alive there in that third quarter, 8 points in the third quarter of play. Thomas played a big part in keeping the Stingrays in this game. From the right arc, trying to drive in, he does so, right block, gets it stolen away. Derek Rivers pushing it up the court. Ethan Tucker trying to take it all the way, foul, going for the layup. He'll shoot two. 6:02 to go, 49-40, Creekside, the 9-point advantage over Atlantic Coast. Tucker's got 10 tonight. 1 of 2 from the line. Make it 2 of 3 as he gets that first one to go. Second shot from Tucker. Oh, so good. Back to an 11-point, 4-possession game as Atlantic Coast calls timeout. As they trail by 11, 5:58 to go. You're listening to Creekside Basketball live on Schlick Sports. .558 remains as Creekside and Atlantic Coast battling it out live at Creekside High School. From three, Malik Aker, no good. Derek Rivers going the other way. Rivers outside. Ethan Tucker goes on the drive. Tucker's shot, no good. Nelson tips it back in on the putback. 53-40. Ben Ward passing it off. Aker back in the game from that right corner. No good. Couldn't hit rim. Instead hit the side of the backboard as Collier on the other end working on Aker. Goes up with it. Shot blocked by Malik Aker. Collier tips it back to Tucker. Tucker finds Nelson. Tucker found Nelson, who banks it in. 55-40 Creekside. Trying to pull away. Thomas working on Tucker, breaks his own ankles. Back outside, Brooks lays it in over Nelson. Ethan Tucker back out to Nolan Nelson. Nelson hands it off. Derek Rivers on the drive, floater, bounces in off the front of the rim. Atlantic Coast can't seem to buy a stop when they need it. They'll get a bucket, the Knights respond, or the Knights get a bucket, they respond. Just haven't been able to really make a big dent in this Knights lead. There's 4 minutes to go. It's BJ Thomas. Malik Aker, top of the key, down by the free throw line. Passes it back out. Darius just barely keeps it on Atlantic Coast after the court, but called for a travel and trying to make a move on Rivers. 3:45 to go. Creekside's holding on over the Stingrays. Nelson down to Collier. Collier guarded by Lawrence. Shot no good off the backboard. He's fouled on the rebound. Still baseline inbound for Creekside. Tucker gets it into Nelson. Nelson posts up Lawrence, but he's going to be called for a travel. Too many steps. Looking for .18 on the night. He's got 16 so far. Atlantic Coast burns their 4th timeout. They got 1 more to spare as they trail by 15. You are listening to Creekside and Atlantic Coast live on Schlick Sports. .57, 42. Our score is Creekside leads Atlantic Coast by 15 as we enter the closing stages of this game. 3:24 to go as Westbrooks passes to Ben Ward. Thomas. Stingrays looking for a look to develop here. As Ward fires a 3, he's 4 of 5 from beyond the arc tonight. 12-point game. Nolan Nelson, left block, turns around on Westbrooks. He banks it in. Nelson's got 18. As Tucker steals it away in transition for the Knights. Tucker brings it back out to the left corner, finds Patterson driving in from the left arc, passes to Nelson. Nelson banks it in. 20 points for the freshman. A new career high. 5 games in, Nelson comes in averaging 15 and a half, had back-to-back games with 19 before that game against Bishop Kenny. Got 20 against the Stingrays. 2:05 to go. From 3, B.J. Thomas, no good. Rivers sends it the other way. Tucker going on the drive. Tucker lays it up. No good on the shot. Brooks passes it forward. Thomas, left wing, guarded by Rivers, driving into the paint. Dishes it to Brooks, who gets it to go with an and one chance. Atlantic Coast has done a nice job in the second half. They've hung with Creekside. They've played with them, but in the end, it doesn't quite look like it'll be enough. 1:43 to go, 61 to 48 as the free throw falls for Brooks. Definitely a lot of promise from this Atlantic Coast team. They'll fall to 0-6. They played a tough schedule early on. As Nelson hands it to Patterson. Patterson on the drive, got a lane, floater. Finds nothing but net. Beautiful shot there, 63-48, Creekside. 1:15 to go. Lawrence. Here's Dorsley. B.J. Thomas. Dribbling in on Tucker. Down on the right block, losing control of the ball, able to find a teammate in Dorsley on the perimeter. Back to Thomas, fires a three. The three, no good over the rim. 45 seconds to go here at Creekside High School as Ethan Tucker has it, takes the screen. Down low, it's Nelson, reverse! Give him 22. What a night for Nolan Nelson. "15 seconds to go, his time running out. Creekside will advance to 5-0 as Ben Ward, no good on the three. Alex Collier on the other end will dribble the remaining clock out as Creekside will take a 65-48 win over Atlantic Coast. The Stingrays kept it close throughout, but the Knights able to hold on in the second half and come away with a 17-point win over Atlantic Coast. Creekside will return Friday night on the road against Bartram Trail. We'll be bringing that one to you live here on Schlick Sports for that big-time district rivalry matchup. But for now, I'm Noah Schlicksup signing off, saying good night from Creekside High School.